It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Wake up! What's up, fellas? Jermaine, man, back on the scene with another video. Got brother Phil here. This video came out a while back. I just got to it. I forgot about it, but I got back into it because of the topics that's going around today. Mainly the migrant invasion, the overpopulation of the United States by criminal invaders who have no business here. And the Dems, they're just going all out for them, man. They are taking our money and giving it to people who have no rights to it, who have no business in this country. We did not vote for the overpopulation. And those of you who voted for Kamala, especially black folks, you voted to be outnumbered. And what gets me is when another tribe comes here and they outnumber you, they're not going to be nice to you. They're going to screw you over. So let's check out our good brother. I sped this up to 1.5 so we can get through it a little bit faster. Let's do it.
So back in June 10th, 1990, there was a brother by the name of Terry Anderson that went before Congress. And this brother was warning about the conditions in South Central Los Angeles when it came to black people. And I want you to hear what our brother had to say back in 1990. And you fast forward to 2025 and you see what ended up happening. Let's go ahead and check out this clip.
Elected officials refused to address the problem. The black elected officials refused to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good.
And I always thought that was, well, not always. I'd say when I got to high school, that's when I realized that people from other blacks from other countries, Asians, Indians, they're not our friends. Because somewhere in our culture, the only people who do bad things is the white man. When in reality, all tribes, or should I say most tribes, have done bad things. It's not limited to the white man. The Asian man, look at the wars between Japan and China and Korea, wars in Africa. I mean, it's not limited to the white man. So that's like a 5-year-old thinking, well, he looks like me, so he's my friend. Or they're not white, so they're all right. No. Even if they're not white, you will get what you call racism. You will get that equal to or greater than what you're facing from the white man. Let's go.
They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race.
Exactly.
I'm a black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from.
Exactly. Like, I met this honey, I never met her. I met her on Black Planet. We used to talk on the phone. She lived in L.A. And she always talked about how this was late 90s. How the Mexicans would only hire other Mexicans, which we find out is true. The level of nepotism between these other people from these other countries is extremely high. Like Indians only hire other Indians. We can't have that. We can't have Mexicans only hiring other Mexicans. Indians hiring other Indians. And Koreans hiring Koreans. And Arabs hiring Arabs. And we can't have that. I mean, it's just crazy. But you guys voted for that. Let's go.
The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority, me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happen to move into the wrong communities.
You hear that? You got black folks mad at white people from stuff that happened back in the 50s and 60s, but they are eerily silent when non-whites do the exact same thing.
We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white-on-black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir. It's the numbers. They come here in the numbers. They build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And
that's what I keep telling people. Oh, well, they're nice to us here in the South. Yeah, because there's only a handful of them. But when they outnumber you, they're going to flip the script.
B-Man, what do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
What do you really think?
They're gonna fuck us the first chance they get.
You guys got to wake up, man. You have no friends, as our elder, John Henry Clark, has told us decades ago. Brother Claude Anderson told us that 40 years ago. I used to watch Tony Brown's Journal. They've been talking about this stuff for 50, 40, whatever years. They've been talking about this, but we don't listen. We listen to the Democrats, who have never been our friend.
there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be to...
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. The numbers. When they outnumber you, a lot of these people from these other countries, they're worse than the white man. You complain about it. My thing is, never hate. Hate, that's a strong emotion. When your mind is that clouded with all that strong emotions, you can't think logically. So while you hating on the white man, these other groups of people who are openly hostile are running you out of your own neighborhoods.
We don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got.
Now, that's Brother Terry Anderson back in 1990. And you fast forward to 2025. Unfortunately, our brother's words fell on deaf ears, even in Congress. And they continue to have open border policies with the Democrat Party. And they kept flooding the zone. It's 1.8 million now.
Black politicians were aware of this back in the 90s, and they said nothing. But we know why, because many of the Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, are foreigners, or they are children of foreigners. So they don't have that love of the country. They are more interested in uplifting their people, bringing them here, and replacing us with them. Let's go.
In Los Angeles, and with black people, it's only 329,000 black people now in Los Angeles. And what I've learned about other groups, like the folks for sure, and even some of them as well, is when the numbers get really high, that's when the racism really ratchet up. And if our numbers are low, say, oh, I can probably get at them. Yeah. We've heard about these issues, and what the brother said is made a lot of sense. Is that if there were white people doing all this time, a whole lot would have been done. Hate crime charges have been filed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When the perpetrator is not white, there's no smoke. Now, if they're white, all hell will break loose. They'd be up on Mars talking about it, protesting, everything. These people have been murdered. Teenagers, not gang affiliated. This gang on gang, I get it. But it's just a civilian walking home from school, or they walk through the wrong neighborhood or whatever, and they got attacked because they're black. If this would have been a white neighborhood, it'd have been all over the news throughout the galaxy.
Okay? It would have been nationwide marches and all of that. But the Democrats, the Democrats is the biggest problem. The Democrats knew about all this going on. And the Democrats was the one with all this minority this, minority that, kind of putting out there like, oh, non-white people, they just like you.
Nah. Every tribe is all for themselves. Just because they have melanin in their skin, and again, they're not white, does not mean they're all right. Like they used to say back in the day, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Well, that applies double to people from other countries. It's rock and roll.
And not even looking at, no, they're not just like us as black people. They're not. They're their own people. They got their own ways, their own history, their own everything.
Exactly.
We were not on this minority coalition. And unfortunately, our civil rights leaders and grassroots leaders that was on that minority coalition stuff, they led us into this problem.
Black faces in high places tell lies. They don't tell the truth.
They should have been speaking up and screaming loudly back then. Jesse Jackson should have been screaming loudly back then. Listen, I love the minister, but the minister could have been addressing this too back then. Man, because Farrakhan back in the...
So I'm saying they had that information, but they hid that from the masses. They're not our friends, man. They don't advocate on our behalf. Rainbow Coalition. He knew that back then, that these people were not our friends. We don't have any friends. You have no friends.
90s, ooh. And not saying the minister don't address things. Don't get me wrong. He addressed everything. But I wish it was more of a coordinated effort from all of them in that time period. Jesse Jackson, all of them in that time period about that issue in Los Angeles and calling that mess out. But everybody wants to be on, but they want to be on this black and brown and, well, you know, that's just this happening. Listen, when a community is sick and tired of something, they all come together and say, hey, we are truly black and brown. We're going to come out. We're going to be calling the police. We're going to be diming these people out. We're going to be against this. This is not going to go down. And now, from what, definitely what I heard, they attack their own people more than they attack, black people. But still, telling somebody to go back to Africa when they've never been to Africa a day in their life, because surely back in the 90s, black people wasn't going to Africa like we do now. Now we go all the time, right? We do.
See, that's the thing. Think about the LA City Council that leaked audio of them conspiring to divert funds from the black neighborhood to their people. There's another case in Texas. I forget where it is. I will link the video to the sister that is talking about it. How they are trying to push blacks out of jobs and bring in other Mexicans. They're not your friends, man. If you're anti-ICE, you are anti-black American. You are stupid. And the white people that are out there, the liberals, you are stupid. Because when it's the same thing, it applies to your stupid ass. When they outnumber you, they're going to screw you over. It's just how it is. All tribes are for themselves. All this kumbaya and all this, they don't care about that. I saw a video of a Asian man talking about as soon as the Asians, the Latinos, and the blacks realize that we outnumber the whites, we could take over this country. You trust them? I don't trust them. Look how black people, just think about it. Look how black people are treated in Latin America. Remember that incident back in, I'm not sure when it was, maybe late 90s, when they were dispelling the African students because they didn't want them dating Chinese girls? They don't want you there. And understandably so. People want to protect their people, their gene pool or whatever. I get it. But no one understands reality. They don't see you as a brother or sister. None of them do. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what else he has to say.
But here's the deal. The Democrat Party, and I got to lay this at the feet of the Democrats. The Democrats have been trying to commit a physical and economic ethnic cleansing of black Americans out of Los Angeles, California. And this is why in Chicago, when I saw what they were trying to do in Chicago, I kept telling people in Chicago, hey, brothers, hey, sisters, if you don't stand up now, if you don't say something now, y'all going to turn into Los Angeles.
Yep.
Look what happened to black people in Los Angeles.
It happened in Red Bank, New Jersey. Long Branch, New Jersey. And it might be going on in Asbury Park. Black folks better wake up, man. You guys, and my belief is all of our problems stem from one thing. self-hate. Self-hate is what created the acceptance culture. We are too accepting of other people, and they do not reciprocate the sentiment. These alliances, it's a joke. Alliances with this whole black and brown, it's like you're turning down a dead-end street. You know it's a dead-end street, but you turn down that street anyway. And you know the jackman is there waiting to rob you. But you turn down that street anyway, hoping that things are going to work out. No, they're not going to work out. You're going to get jacked. And this is the whole thing with this black and brown and yellow, red, and all this. Man, these people don't care about you. They're all for themselves. That's okay. But you should be thinking the same thing. How about my people?
Y'all better fight. And that's why they fought so hard, because they looked at what happened to black folks in Los Angeles. Black folks don't have no numbers like that in Los Angeles. They don't. They completely outnumbered in Los Angeles. That's why a lot of us have said, hey, man, I know y'all like LA and I know there's history to it, but sometimes you got to be like, you know what? Let them have it. We're gonna go to a new location and build there. Because numbers mean a lot. Because when you go to the city council, you're trying to do business, you can get sabotaged. If they want some anti-black racism, you can't get permits. It's not all about even being physically attacked. Economically attacked is even worse. You can't get certain permits. You can't deal with certain real estate. You can't do this, do that, if you keep running into anti-black racism. And I'm not saying everybody is on that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is, the more, if you have
Yeah, I get what he's saying. Are they all bad? No. Can you find some good ones? Yeah, but as a group, as a demographic, tribe, they are for themselves. They're not for you. It's just that simple. Like I said, don't hate, but don't understand reality. These people are not your friends as a group. Yeah, onesies, twosies. Yeah, you can meet a couple, but just keep it a buck. Keep your third eye open and your head on a swivel.
Group of people who come from anti-black racism, colorism in their own homeland.
Exactly.
Right? Remember Nuri Martinez? What she said about black folks, even the Oaxacans, which is the indigenous people, they're real dark over there in Mexico, and some of them are here. They brought that over here with them.
Yeah, I was talking to some white guy. He's like, oh, they seem nice in their country. When they get here, they become racist. I'm like, no. They were racist in their own country. They just bring it with them. They just don't change like that. They already think that.
So, I just feel black people, this is my opinion, I just feel black people should just say, hey, I've been saying that, come on home to the South. I've been saying that, come home to the South. The majority of black Americans are in the South. I know a lot of you brothers and sisters went to Vegas because, you still want to get back. And listen, and I'm not saying you can't be in Southern California. I mean, last time I went out there to California, I'm like, nah, I don't want to be in LA. Like, I'll go see something in LA and I get my hat behind right out of LA. Nah, I'm cool. If I had to live in California, I'd live in Orange County. Not straight up. It'd be Orange County or somewhere up north. But I'm not about to be around that cesspool. I'm just not doing it. I mean, I'm a smart enough person to know, go where you're going to be comfortable, live where you're going to be comfortable. Don't put yourself in a position, right? Well, somebody say, well, Phil, we all can't leave LA. We all can't do this. We all can't do that. I just think a little bit more strategic than that.
Find a way. Find a way. It's that we can't do this. Find a way. If you have to, find a way. And I'm going to say, a lot of this so-called black poverty, a lot of this is bad choices. You don't pick good careers. You don't get married. I'm going to do another video on married black couples versus single head of household, where they have a higher rate of poverty versus married black couples have a 94% rate of not living in poverty. Do the right thing.
I think that we need to get places where a lot of black people are at. And black people trying to hold on to a few places. But you look at LAPD. Look at the demographics on the LAPD. And you wonder why all the things we have in the black people still in LA. At one point in time, it was the white cops. Now it's not the white cops no more. Like I said, but I just think black folks either need to get another location in California that they want to be in, or come on back home to the South, or you can go to Chicago. You know, a lot of black people at. Like, get in the city where a lot of black people at. That's why I keep telling my people, get in the city where a lot of us say you got numbers, because that's over 1 million black people in Chicago.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this off here. But he's correct. It's all about numbers. When they outnumber you, they're gonna screw you over. That's just the way it is. Deal with it. Well, anyways, brothers, sisterin, white folks. This applies to white folks too. You know, when they talk about the great replacement, that hit black folks first. Now, whatever you see going on in the black community,
Luke, it is your destiny.
that is your destiny. Wake up, black folks. You gotta wake up. We have nowhere else to go. Where's 40 million of us going to go? There's nowhere to go. You can't move 40 million of us move to Nigeria. They're not gonna have it. They can't get along with each other. What do they have, like 40, 50 different ethnic groups that don't get along? So what do you think one more ethnic group there is gonna do? Ghana, same thing. What is it, like 60, 70? There's nowhere to go. This is home. Your people been here for centuries. You better fight to keep it. Your ancestors worked for free and never got paid. I'll be goddamn if we sit back and allow and just give away for free and pay these people to come. That's basically they're taking our money and giving it to them. And you guys still vote for Democrat. Vote blue no matter who.
Now, I have no wish to remove one shackle from around your necks, only to replace it with one of my own.
Never marry yourself to a party. If you take your time out and study the men who drafted the Constitution, they were against marrying yourself to a party. Think about it. Study. You gotta study, man. We gotta step the game up. Get the knowledge game up. Knowledge of self will set you free. Do your brother man a solid. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. Share this bad boy out. And I will see you brothers in the next video. Peace.